Arguably, one of the best dungeons in the vanilla game, at least I think so anyway, is the Dual Ruin of Arkngthand. It's one of the only actual good examples of great dungeon design in the vanilla game. And dungeon design is it's really not something that Morrowind did all that well, if we're being honest. I know that's going to ruffle a few feathers, but dungeon design really wasn't Morrowind's forte. A lot of the dungeons were kind of basic. The one thing that Morrowind got right was loot placement, and that's pretty much it. In almost every other respect, I would say that Skyrim is actually the best game in the in the entire series in terms of dungeon design. But I do think that Arkngthand especially does actually, kind of stand out a bit. It is, again, I think, just the best dungeon, or one of the best dungeons in the vanilla game. It has a lot of variety, it has a bit of verticality, it has some of that mystique going on, it has that mysterious feeling about it that, Morrowind kind of does a good job of invoking. Though, you might not agree that it's a good dungeon if you spent 10 hours trying to find that blasted Dwemer puzzle cube. But in any event, the one thing that Arkngthand admittedly isn't great on is that it is, kind of dated now compared to the dungeon mods that are getting released just, in the past couple of years. In terms of quality, it's lacking just a lot of detailing and a lot of that extra oomph, that you can find in modern dungeon mods. And that brings me to today's mod of the day, which today is Better Dwemer Interiors, Arkngthand by Silentjacket. And this is the first release in a new series of Dwemer Dungeon Overhauls. Kind of like the Dwemer Rebirth project by Rubberman, only unlike that project, which basically replaces the Dwemer dungeons in Morrowind completely with new dungeons that are based heavily on Skyrim's dungeon design. This project aims to use OAAB data and Tamriel data to just enhance and improve the vanilla dungeons without completely replacing them. Mostly this comes in the form of cluttering and detailing to just bring these dungeons up to a more modern standard. Though right now this again just covers the dungeon of Arkngthand, and this adds just a ton of clutter and detailing to Arkngthand with tons of new Dwemer artifacts, furnishings, and things of that nature. There's also a lot of food and drink, for the bandits that are, excavating Arkngthand, as well as new flavor text documents with journals and notes left by the bandits that you can now find, which adds just a lot of great flavor text to these environments, and, sort of explains what exactly these bandits are doing here, which I don't think was ever actually explained in the vanilla game. That was always just, that was a bit of a mystery, what exactly they were, what they were doing here. But, anyway, in addition to all the new detailing and cluttering and the new text documents and just, all that, this also includes just a ton of Dwemer furnishings like, lava pipes, steam vents, just a lot more new rubble and blinking, broken Dwemer lights and things of that nature. This is really just a very atmospheric and scenic-looking overhaul of Arkngthand, and arguably one of the best-looking overhauls for Arkngthand. Though having said that, there really isn't that many overhauls for Arkngthand. I think there's actually just two if you include this one. The other one is Arkngthand 2.0 by Lord Brandis, released in the, I think in the 2015 Modathon. So, there's really just not that much variety when it comes to overhauling Arkngthand, and I would say that this one is absolutely atmospherically, stunning. And it also adds a new corridor and a new chamber, so, it does expand the dungeon a bit. But anyway, just as a note here, this is compatible with, but does not require, Darknut's Greater Dwemer Ruins, Greater Dwemer Interiors, which I am using here, but, again, it's not required, so you can play without it if you so desire. But anyway, one last thing that I want to mention here. We have gotten some complaints in the past about how we showcase mods, namely, when it comes to dungeon overhauls for vanilla dungeons. Since, historically, we haven't actually done, any comparisons in these showcases, with the before and after shots. So I do want to mention that this time around, we do actually have a set of before shots just at the end of this video from before we applied this mod. Though I should clarify that this is from just right before we installed the mod. So it's still a heavily modified install. It's not the vanilla game, but still it'll give you just some idea of what exactly this mod does in terms of cluttering and detailing. Again, you'll find that just at the end of this video, and there's also a timestamp just down below. But anyway, this is a absolutely, just positively fantastic overhaul of Arkngthand, and I do hope that we see more overhauls just in this vein, going into the future. But anyway, that's from all the day. So as always, I've been your host, Golf Guy. Thanks for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, happy modding, and I'll see you all next time.